Hello, everyone, and welcome to day three of our demo lessons. And I hope you all had a great day so far. And just before I start, just give a quick thumbs up if my voice is clear for you. Am I audible? Okay, thank you. So before we begin, I just want to take a moment to appreciate everyone who's been consistent since day one. So that consistency will truly make a difference in your learning journey. And let's have a quick recap what we have done so far in our first two demo lessons. On day one, we explored what AI really is and how it's transforming industries and spoke about all buzzwords like LLMs, transformer, prompts, and agents, etc. And then we showcased live generative AI tools where we saw how AI can now create music and design web pages, summarize text, and even assist in creative works. So, and yeah, we have seen Suno AI, Humata, tools like okay, like yeah, Humata, Suno AI, yeah. We have seen the UI page created using Cursor, where we have showcased the curriculum of this course. So in demo two, we discussed in depth 5 month roadmap of how we are going to progress from Python to data science to machine learning and then deep learning and then agentic AI and yeah, generative AI and agentic AI. And we saw tools like Emergent. So in Emergent, there is not much free credits available. We can build one app maybe using Emergent. So depending on purpose, we can buy the credits. But I found it like a little expensive, but it's creating wonderful apps. Through Emergent, and then small agent, you can create some task builders like that. No code pages. All these are no code pages. So today uh, we are going to start with learning Python, the language that powers all of this AI magic. Because to reach that point of building agentic AI around like in a duration of 5 months, the starting building block is learning a programming language. So today we are going to focus on Python. And yeah, if someone's joining in for the first time, you can always go through the recordings and you can catch up. Like you'll definitely pick up something valuable from the recordings too. So let's start with a very simple question. Like, how many of you have done coding before? Like, have a expertise or like I like at least like tried Python before? Just put one in the chat. If you are completely new to coding, just put two in the chat, just to know, like, to maintain my pace in the class, whether to go slow or fast. Okay, I can see one. So I just gave one for beginner, right? Or expertise. Okay, sorry. So I can see one. Okay. So others are new. So there are three who have already tried Python. Okay. So, okay, fine. No issues because we are going to start with very basic and very like we are going to start with ABCD of Python today. So, and yeah, let me ask you one more question. Like, which language do you think is older between Python and Java? Which one do you think is older? Okay, Java. Okay, maybe said Python. Okay, so anybody else with Python? Java and .NET. Actually, Python is way older, like around 5 years older than Java. So Python is older compared to like in between Python and Java, but Python gained attention and traction after 2000, around 2010. Before that, it was all Java and all. Because of this development in AI, Python got this attention because Python is the famous programming language which is used for learning artificial intelligence. There are a lot of libraries available with in like inbuilt libraries available with Python. So the two famous programming languages are Python and R actually, but Python is way famous compared to R also. So we are going to learn Python programming language, but the same thing, whatever we are doing using Python can be done with Java and any other programming language, but it becomes a little complicated with other programming languages. So we suggest always someone's learning AI, start with Python. So let me share my screen. So we don't have much slides today. We are going to be with Google Colab for the most of the time. So today it's the Python's day, the language that powers AI, building the foundation for data science, machine learning, generative AI. So agenda for today is first we are going to see like why Python for AI, and then we are going to talk about where to code in Python, and then we'll get started with Google Colab. And yeah, so Python fundamentals, we are going to start with very basic of Python fundamentals in today's lesson. So why do you think why Python for AI? So the answer is very simple because it's simple. Yeah, Python is a very beginner friendly programming language, easiest programming language to learn. So nowadays, like someone who's learning programming for the first time, it's always suggestible to start with Python. So in many of the engineering colleges also, before it was C language, now also they are studying C language, but few colleges have started teaching Python as the first programming language. Before it was not even in the curriculum. Now it has become a mandate to learn Python too. And then, yeah, it's powerful because most of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and DL, data science uses Python. And it saves time because a lot of ready-made libraries are already there within Python, so which will save us time because instead of writing many lines of code, like instead of creating our own function, we can use ready-made functions. And a lot of uh, like you have online like free resources are also available related to Python. And it's industry ready. Like we start with very basic, but till deployment for the production, like till the end of creating AI apps or even in the generative AI, agentic AI, you can use Python programming language. So Python is not just another programming language, it's the language that turns ideas into AI. So if you are programming for the very first time, trust me, like coding is not really very difficult. It requires some logic and creativity. So it's kind of a artwork. So before I understand like C language, we have to look into a lot of syntaxes and all. But Python is a very beginner of programming language. Most of the codes looks like it's in a simple English language. So compared to other programming languages, so Python is very simple. And where to code in Python would be the next question, right? So if you are doing a programming on our own, so where to code? So there are like for any coding environment, we call it like IDEs, integrated development environments. So there are many IDEs in the market. So there are like few of them are listed here, like Anaconda, Google Colab, PyCharm, Eclipse, Atom, Visual Studio, Jupyter, Spider, ideally Cursor, Databricks, and the last one is a Sublime actually. So you can choose any of the Python IDEs, but few of them are scripting. Like I'm going little technical here, but don't worry, like because we already fixed like we are going to use the Google Colab, but yeah. So for learning for Python the Python which we are going to use it for is for learning artificial intelligence. This is the programming language we are learning, but we are going to use it to learn data science, artificial intelligence, prompts, and all. So we are going to use the notebooks. So there is this scripting and notebooks. So the Autumn, PyCharm, Spider, all these are of scripting tools. The only difference is that in scripting, right away, like for example, in the notebook environment, like you type a code, you can right away see the output there. Like if you yesterday we saw the describe function or a tail function, head function, you type it and then you see the code, you change the output there and there. So it's useful to use notebooks for getting the data, doing the analysis on it, compared to the scripting tools like Autumn or Anaconda, because they are useful when you're deploying a model. So for now, for easier purpose, like you can either start with Google Colab, which we are going to start with because it's easy to concentrate more on the concept rather than you installing softwares onto your system and all. So Jupyter, Google Colab, and Databricks, all these are notebooks kind of environment. The others are scripting tools. So if you are interested, you can download it, but download it after 10-15 days. Right away, don't get into installing. If you are already used to installing and all, you can start with it. But yeah, for now, let's focus on the Google Colab environment. Again, this Google Colab is a IDE which is cloud based, where you don't have to install anything onto your system. We just have to have internet and Gmail ID, which we have already saw in the last lesson. So yeah, so the like only top few we have put in here, but there are many in the market for doing the Python. But yeah, I can also suggest like you can either go with Cursor or Databricks also. But yeah, and Jupyter is the offline version of Google Colab. Both Jupyter and Google Colab would look almost the same, but this is like offline version. This is the online version. So skills you are going to acquire. So you are going to learn Python, then we are going to SQL. Yeah, I just told before also, like you're going to get the recordings, and then statistics, NumPy, scikit-learn is the library for you learning machine learning, TensorFlow, you're going to do Keras, PyTorch, and NLP. So you see something Tavli here, right? So just understand that Tavli is the web search tool for agents. Like this is useful when it's useful when we start learning with agentic AI. So Tavli, data visualization, land graph. This is also related to agentic AI. Sci-fi, Plotly, Pandas, data for processing. So we just added few skills here. And yeah, we already saw the roadmap before. So here we are today starting with Python basics. So we'll go this way and then we'll step forward. So let's not go into the roadmap again. So yeah, so let me share the Google Colab notebook. We are going to start learning the basics of Python today. If someone's already know Python, you might feel today's lesson is little boring and slow, but be with me. Soon we'll cover the advanced topics. So yeah, I've shared the link with you. So I want you all to open this Collab notebook in the laptops. So just put in the chat if someone's joining through mobile. If you join through laptop, you can just put laptop also. And in the end, today I'll share this Excel sheet link where I have listed all the Gen AI famous tools. There are 100 plus tools, and the description is given and the URL link. So accordingly, you can go through this tools list where you can see if you like what is the purpose of each tool we have put in here. So Suno AI, which we have already seen, generates songs, jingles, and background music text prompts. So there are many AI tools already. Like here, I've listed like 101. So you can see like according to what you have, what you want to do, you can select the tool and explore. But not all of them would be the free version, but each of them will have some free credits to explore. So do try interesting AI tools I've listed here. So let me so okay, I'm assuming all of you have joined through laptop then. Nobody has joined through mobile. So I've already shared the collab, right? So try to open it from your end. If you have done it, then just put done in the chat. Anybody is getting notebook loading error? Okay, done, great. So okay, this is the first batch like I have. All of you did open the collab without getting notebook loading error because that's a common error we get it. So if for suppose in future also if you get notebook loading error, try clearing the history and cache and try to open it in incognito mode, check, do some trial and error methods. But yeah, usually that's a common error. Sometimes we get it. So once you do it, the next step is go to the file, click on save a copy and drive. So make a copy of it because I just gave you the view access again. So if you want to do coding alongside with me, so you have to make a copy of it so that we can start working on it together. Okay. Okay, done. So we just put a roadmap, like I'm not going into it, but yeah, this point we'd never highlighted till now. So we are going to have the capstone projects where end-to-end project, like whatever we are learning, we'll take a real-time data set and we are going to work end-to-end on it so that you can put it on your resume and we are going to have a interview preparation like I'll give you in the end of the course the questions that in like which are being like asked in interview, so I'll give you some guidance for interview preparation after this course too. So yeah. And so Python is a high-level interpreted and interactive programming language that is known for its readability and simplicity. It's called high-level because it's closer to human language, making it easier to read and write compared to other programming languages. So it's interpreted, which means you don't need to compile the code. Python runs the code line by line, which helps testing and debugging. So it's an excellent language for beginners. You don't really have to go into those details for now. So if you want to do the coding in Google Colab, so you have to click on code cell. If you want to do the texting, click on text cell. Either you can do it from the center of the screen. If, whenever you hover the mouse, you see plus code and plus text here. And from here also you can select plus code and plus text. So first, we are to do the Python operators. We'll see some basic arithmetic operations of Python. So addition, we know it's a plus operator, right? So we can do addition of any two numbers in Python using plus operator. 8 plus 4 is the addition in Python. You can try on your Google Colab
Sorry, how
after
did you
click.
create this? Sorry, how did you create this 8
Yeah,
plus for that
uh,
section?
this just hover the mouse onto the center of the screen. You see plus code here, right? Either you click on this, you will get a code cell where you have to do the coding part, or you can click
Yeah,
on the top. Like if you click on plus code, you can get the code cell. So you can start
yeah.
clicking on your laptop also, so that you get used to this Google Colab environment.
Yes,
So
okay.
if you just run it for the only for the first time, it gets connected with the Google Colab cloud platform. So it would take a minute, but after that it would be faster. So 8 plus 4 is actually code in Python. Like you don't have to like if someone's comparing this with other programming languages, then you would know like in other programming languages you have to mention the data type and all. So here it's straightforward. 8 plus 4 is the addition code in Python. So if you want to do the subtraction, so I already put in code cells where I have put in some text in green here, right? This is nothing but the comments. In code cell, if I want to add some comment to it, so if I want to type something, this is addition in Python. If I want to comment it, I just add hash symbol before it. If I add uh, anything before code or even the text, anything, they become comments. If you add this hash, they become comments. This is a comment. So all the green lines you see it, these are the comments which are actually helping us to know like, what we want to do it in that particular code cell. So I just added 8 plus 4. So you can add any number like this. So you would get the output. If I just put hash before it, they become, it's not a code anymore. It becomes a comment actually. You run it, you see no output here. So if I just remove it, it's a code cell. So it's simple. Addition, simple subtraction, like you add a, you just have a number, subtraction sign, and you give one more number, which becomes subtraction here. So subtraction, addition, operators are same like simple math, which is plus and minus here. Multiplication. For doing multiplication, here you have to use the asterisk symbol here. So if you just use this asterisk symbol, it becomes multiplication. So we'll start very slow. We'll slowly, gradually build up the language of Python. So it's like we are learning in like a different language which computer understands. So we start with terminology. So luckily with Python, lot of the terminology which is inside the Python programming language is matching with English. That's the reason it becomes simple here. So the subtraction, addition, all this we have learned in school. We are seeing the same thing here. So it's easy to quickly learn it because of this. So for the multiplication, like in actual multiplication in math, we had this cross. So now it's a Python programming language. We have to follow the language terminology. So this is the asterisk symbol, which is used for multiplication. So if you just put in 6 multiplied by 5, you just got a multiplication. I'm just getting one more code cell, like I can multiply any number like this and run it. So you just got the multiplication output. So division we do it by this backslash symbol here. If I'm dividing 10 divided by 2, so I just got 5.0 output. So basic arithmetic operators, these are very simple: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? This is new, modulus. So we just put a comment also. It returns the reminder of a division. So whenever you use the symbol between two numbers, 10 modulus 2. What is the reminder of 10 modulus 2? If I, so the reminder is 0. So this is the output which we are going to get it using this modulus symbol. So it gives us the reminder. So if I do 9 modulus 3, what is the output? If I run this, what would be the output? You can put it in the chat. Will it be 0 or 1? 1, correct, Abhishek. And do try it from your end. Like, you already opened the collabs, right? Just these are like, there are people who have already done the programming, right? So if you run it, like you can add a little more, like you can use your creativity there. So for someone who's learning, like don't complicate things, just follow me, do it slowly. It's okay. So modulus gives us the reminder. And if you want to get the exponent of a number, like you want to raise one number to the power of another, like you want to get 2 power of 2, then you just have to use two asterisks here. Instead of one asterisk is multiplication. If you just provide two asterisks, it would give you 4. So this is like this. You want to get 2 power of 2, or you want to get 3 power of 3, then it would be 3. So if you just give two asterisk symbols, then you are going to get the power of it. It raises one number to the power of another. So there is something called floor division. So divide one number by another and it would round down, like rounds down to the nearest integer. That means if you have a number like 10 divided by 3, the output when I do 10 divided by 3, it's not floor division, it's simple division operator from here. If I do 10 by 3, if I run it, what would be the output? You can do it from your end also and then put it in the chat. Did you get the output? So if I do 10 divided by 3, I'll get 3.3333. Yeah, correct, Abhishek. So if I do the floor division, it divides one number by one another, but it rounds down to the nearest integer. So this is the decimal number we got it. When you use this floor division, we are going to get the rounded value here. So when you use this double backslash, you are going to get the rounded down to the nearest integer output. So this is like a few common arithmetic operators we have put in here. So if you want to write some text, if I want to write some text, like I just want to write Python, and if I run it, I got error saying like name Python is not defined. So till now, whenever I'm writing these numbers and running it, I never got any error. If I just write 6 and run it, I didn't got any error. When I was doing some multiplication or addition, I didn't got any error. But whenever I've written a text and run it, I got error in Python because we have few rules to follow in Python. We call it like syntax. So whenever I'm typing numbers straightforward, I can give directly numbers. But whenever I'm giving text here, I have to insert text in quotations. Only then Python would know like this is this text which got inserted here. If I run it, then I won't get the error. So, and text are called strings here. It's a new term. So in Python, text is called as string. In Python programming language, text is called as string. So whenever we are typing anything inside quotations, single or double, it becomes strings. So if I just write happy, so it becomes a string. So when I say string, it's text in Python programming language. So and one more thing with string is that, so if I'm just typing this, what do you think it would be? Is it a number or a string? So string in the sense text. So what do you think? Is it a number or string? Correct, Abhishek, it's a string. So whenever you type in anything inside quotations, they become string. For Python programming language. It doesn't know if it's Python, if it's alphabets or if it's numbers, but anything enclosed inside quotations, they become string. Actually, you can find out using a ready-made function the type of it also, whether it's a string or not. We can even find it out with a ready-made function, which will come little later in the coming activities. For now, just understand that anything enclosed within double quotations or single quotations are considered to be text for string. If you can just write inside quotations some brackets. So this is also a string because it's enclosed in quotations. And this is also a string. So working with strings, like till now when I've done 7 plus 0, sorry, maybe 10, it's 17. So if I do 7 quotations plus 10. So these are not numbers, these are strings. Can you guess the output? What do you think would be the output would be? 7 plus 10, but I just gave quotations for the both. Will it be giving some output or error? 7, 10. Do try it from your end. Quickly run it from your end also. Type such things and run it from your end also to check, what's happening. So if I run it, you just see the change in output. You just got the concatenation. We call it concatenation. Two strings got added together like this, like they got concatenated. 7 plus 10, if they are integers, like they are numbers, we just got the addition here. But if it's strings, Python, and if I just type easy, so if I run it, you would see Python easy. So with strings, when they are strings, when you use this plus operator in between, it's doing the concatenation. It's not doing the actual mathematical addition here. So with strings, if you are multiplying, you would see a repetition. So it's just a like quick one activity with strings, but in actual classes, maybe lesson 16 or 17, we are going to have three special classes dedicated with strings. It's actually fun working with strings. There are a lot more things which we have to learn about strings. For now, we are starting with very basic. If you just understand that if anything written inside quotations are called as strings, that's what we are now focusing on. So if you mix data types, then you're going to get error like if you are adding a string 7 and if you are adding a number 7, if you run it. So we got error saying can only concatenate string to string, but not to integer. Before string to string, I got output. Like integer to integer, I got output. But I'm mixing the data types. Like we are going to see what are data types just in a minute. But when you mix the string with number, I got error here. Either I have to make this as a string or I have to make the other one like a number. Only then it would work. When you are mixing data types, you'll get error. But we can also change the data type with some ready-made functions also. We'll get to that. So either you can do like this. You can directly give quotations or you can just write str in the brackets. You write 7. This also would work. So we'll slowly get used to this. Right now, just understand that give quotations and it will become a string. So till here, any questions? Is it okay? Do you feel it's okay to work with Google Colab? So just run it from your end so that you get used to this Google Colab environment. It's very easy to work with it. Maybe for the first time you open it like you just focus on two things like plus code will give the code cell. Mostly text cell you don't have to type in any text. So since I was putting the theory like this, I'm using the text cell, but it's always the code cell which you are going to use. And whenever you write a code, click on this play button, then your code gets executed, and you see the tick mark that showing that code got executed. If you get some errors, we have to just fix it just by correctly fixing what's we can read the error and fix it. If I just give 7 here and run it, so errors, you can see like it's showing you this is the error, type error, and it's also helping us guiding with the error also. Can only concatenate string to string. So it's suggesting that some mixing of data types is happening with this error here. So then I'm just converting this 7 to 7 and I just run it. So 77. So we have seen arithmetic basic operators, and then we started with calling string, and sometimes we already said this word data type, right? So we're going to see what exactly these data types are and what are variables. So variable is something where you can assign a value to. So till now we are independently doing it here, but if I want to do some operation like I want to add three numbers 538. So I just initially gave 5, then I gave 3, then I gave 8, then I want the Python to add it by remembering the values. Then I need to store it in some variables. So we call it like variables. So here, if I'm adding everything at once, so I just write 8 plus 6 plus 6, then I can get the values here. But variables are something where you can assign values to, allowing you to reuse them later on. So you can create a container like, so in the backend of Python, you can create a container where you can store a value inside it and you can name it. You can name it and store a value inside it so that with this name we can reuse it later. We can reuse it later on. So in layman language, if someone asks you what is a variable, you can say like it's like a container where you can store a value inside it so that you can reuse it from that particular container again. So, for example, you want to create a variable, it's easy to create a variable. You just write, for I want to create a variable called A, where I'm storing value 5 inside it. I just write A equal to 5 like a code. That means I just created a variable called A where I've stored value, like where I've assigned value 5 to this A. So let's create our first variable. So I'm creating a variable A equal to 5. So just by clicking here, I just created a variable here. So there are few rules for naming it. We'll talk about it. So when I write a equal to 5, a variable is created. Then I create one more variable saying b equal to 10. Two variables are created. If I now add this, a plus b, so I'm not adding strings here. Just see it clearly. These are still alphabets, but these are not strings. We are not adding any strings here. You don't see any quotations. These are the variables I just created. If I add now you will see the output 15 here. So I've just created variables and then I have reused it. So when I write something like this, so that means in the backend, two variables are created. So you can imagine like this. So you have a box created with just a second. You have a box created with value 5 inside it. Okay, just a second. So just like okay, my Wacom pen is not working, so let me write it with my hand. So this is like you created a variable A where you can store a value 5 inside it. Then I have created one more box in the backend. So there we have stored this value 10. So when we call this function A plus B, that means we are getting the value which is saved inside this names A and B. So we are adding 5 plus 10 here. So you can reuse this variable. So if I just do A multiplied by b, then it would do the multiplication. So these are nothing but in the back end, memory locations are created. And why we are naming in the sense because if you are storing a value 5 in the back end, it would store it in some memory location. Like if I get the ID of A, you will see like it's stored in some memory location 1165. So if you get the ID of B, it has stored in the back end in some memory location. So it's difficult to remember this memory location. That's why we name it. So usually as a good practice, we name the variables according to the value which we have stored inside it. And naming the variables, we have a few rules to follow. So naming the variables with rules, we call it like Python identifiers. So we have Python identifiers here. So like for us humans also, when we are named, there are few rules followed, right? We are not named randomly. So nobody gets a name like table chair. So yeah, we are getting the names of months like April, June, but we follow at least few rules for naming humans also. The same way for naming the variable, we have to follow few rules. Very easy, simple rules. Rules like variable name should start with capitals or small or the special characters are not allowed. Only one special character is allowed, which is this underscore. And variables cannot have names with spaces. So you cannot create a variable name. I'll show you with examples also. Can't be Python keywords. So the same thing, like we don't get a name like car, chair. The keywords which are already taken for some common nouns, we don't name it with it. So here also, like you have ID. So there are some Python keywords you can get it. You don't have to remember this Python keywords. You just type in keywords, it would give you all the keywords. Okay, sorry, I forgot the quotations here. So these are the keywords of Python like false, none, true, and as. These cannot be the names of the variables. So, and they cannot have spaces. So if you say for creating variable I and you store a variable 6, invalid syntax. So it cannot have variables like this. Instead of space, you have to give this underscore, then it would work. So you just created a variable u underscore I. So it cannot contain spaces. It cannot be Python keyword. So we have seen a keyword called and equal to 6. So you cannot have and equal to 6 because and is a keyword. So you cannot have any of this as Python variable names. So, but it's case sensitive. You can make and equal to 6. You can give and as a capital, it would work. You cannot give exactly this. True T small letter, then it would work. You don't have to remember this. With practice, we get used to we'll get used to know, like, which are the keywords and which we should not name them with keywords. So and and case sensitive, we just observe, like, this is case sensitive. Capital A and small a are not same for Python, and no special characters. So for suppose I'm giving a name asterisk and saving a value 9 inside it, it would throw error saying special character asterisk got here in the name. So, but you can give underscore. Underscore would work. So you cannot have any special characters. And always try to create variables which mimic like what is the value we are actually storing in that particular variable there. So name a variable in such a way that it reflects the nature of the value stored in it. So variable is something where you can store a value inside it and it would allow us to reuse them later on. So this is about a variable here, but there's a concept called data types. So data types is nothing but there are basic four different data types in Python. So we already explored two of them. That is, one is integer numbers, where you don't have decimal points. So you have integers, and then you have decimal numbers, which we call it like floating point. This is a terminology of so I'm just writing with my finger today, so it's becoming a little crazy here. So then we have string, and then we have Boolean. So these are the basic data types of Python. So integers are nothing but the numbers like 7, 8, 2. So like it can be bigger numbers also, but it should not be a decimal number. These are the integer data type. So floats are nothing but the decimal numbers, 3.3, 1.2. All this kind of values are called floating point data type. Anything enclosed inside double quotations or single quotations are called strings. Boolean is nothing but true and false. You have to write with P capital and F capital. Both true and false are called Boolean data type. So data types in Python, there are four different data types: integer, floating point number, string, and Boolean. So when we know the data type of a particular value, then we have few rules to follow. That's the reason we have to identify the data type in Python. And it's easy to identify because it's similar to how we have it in the math. We know what are integers, we know what are floating point. Text, instead of text, we are calling it string here. True and false are special for Python because to say something 0 or 1, yes or no, we write it in true and false. It doesn't recognize yes and no. Python recognizes only true and false, that too with P capital and F capital. So, and when you're creating variables with different data types, we have few rules to follow, very simple rules. For example, I'm creating my first variable where I want to store a string value inside a variable. Then what I'll do is I'll write like I'm creating four different variables, store that name, age, gender, so and time right now in the variables. You can do it uh, alongside like you can also try doing it from your end. So first I'm creating the variable name. You don't have to do it in this activity itself. You can just click on press code and do it in this code cell also. For explanation purpose, so that after the class, if you go through this collab, to make it easy, I'm just writing it at this particular location where I'm creating a variable called name. I'm storing some random name inside this. So I'm storing name, and since it's a string, I just given quotations for it. But it's a variable called name where I've stored the value May inside it. So you can imagine this is like a box created, and I named it as name, and the value which I stored inside it was May, and that too string. So next I'm going to create a variable where I'm going to store age of Mary, and which is 20. So since it's a integer, no need of quotations. So then I'm creating a floating point number in a variable. So right now the time is 8:50. So 8.50. It's a numbers again for even integers and decimal numbers. When you're creating variables with values of integers or decimal number, we don't have to give any quotations for it. So these are the rules. So I'm talking about the syntax of Python where we have to follow these rules. Like we have no control. This is how the Python programming language is created. We are learning how to use it. So everybody should follow the same rules. So then if you're storing the gender, if it's true for female, false for male. So it's a name of a female. So I'm just writing true here. Whenever you write a Boolean value, you have to write C capital for true. If it's false, F capital. If I run this, the variables will be created. You won't see any output here. So the variables are created. I just can create everything at one place instead of comments also and copying it. So I just created four variables and run it. And I saw that there is no output. So that doesn't mean like variables are not created. Variables are created in the backend. They are created, and if you want to print a variable only with Google Colab environment, you can just write the variable and run it. You will see the output which is saved inside it. But it's just a second. Okay, I'm back. So when you are writing variable names, just by the name you are seeing the output, whatever stored inside this variable, right? But if I want to display variables like this, only the last one gets displayed without any additional functions to it. So if I want to see both name and age together, only not only the last one. So then we have a function called print function. So the task of this print function is to display whatever we write it inside the print function. Here I'm printing the name here. So name is not a text here. Name is a variable. So usually you see programming language with the print statement, like you would have learned any programming language. We always start with the print function, like print hi, print hello. We start from there. But yeah, we just coming with the print statement with a variable. So if I'm printing text, then I would have written like with quotations hello, then it would print hello here. So, but when you're printing a variable, we should make sure like, we don't give quotations for it. If you give a quotation here, writing print and you give a quotation for it, then you would see the difference. It would print whatever is written inside the quotation because this is not the variable. It's a string here. It's a text which we are printing here. Whenever you are printing a variable, we don't give any quotations for it. But the variable should be already created. If you are just printing anything without quotations like this, without creating a variable, it would throw error saying Python is not defined. Whenever you see this error, name Python is not defined, understand that there is no variable of this name. Either you have to make it a string to print it, or you should have a variable which is already existing with this name. So if I just print hi without any quotations, it would give me error. If I just create a variable saying hi equal to 100,000 something like this, I'm creating a variable as a name hi and storing value 100 inside it. Now if I print it, now it's 1000 here. So this is the difference between variable and string with print function. So print is a function. So when I say function, it's a function is something you can understand that function is like a machine which would do a task for us. So if you have a ATM machine, it would give money for us. If you have a blender machine, it would do the juices for us. Here, print function is a machine like a uh, the task of print function is like whatever you write inside it, it would display. Likewise, there are thousands of ready-made functions inside Python. That's the reason Python's powerful because a lot of ready-made functions are already available. We can use them according to the task we want. Print function is printing. If there is some other function, like if you want to see the data type of this variable high here, So there is a function called type. The task of this function type is to show the data type of the variable you put in here. So hi is the variable name I have put in. So it just showed me like it's an integer here. If I using the type function on name, so you see the text is saved inside. So if I use type function on name, it's showing like it's a string here. So the ready-made function type, the code part of type is already done by the Python author. We are reusing it. So we have again like a dedicated lesson for functions. The whole 1 2 hours we'll talk about functions there. It's just the introductory, like when you're using print, these are functions. So here, yeah, this is about variables. So variable is like a container where you can store a value inside it and you can reuse it. So, and for naming variables, we have few rules. So naming variables, we call it like Python identifiers. We have to follow these rules. So for naming variables, these rules are set. And data types in Python, there are four basic data types: integer, floating point, string, and Boolean. So true and false is Boolean, strings, anything inside quotation strings, decimal numbers are floating point, integer are numbers. So let me now write what is the data type of this? Is it a string, integer, floating point, or boolean? Correct, Abhishek. It's integer. Gyanendra, correct. So what is the data type of this? I can confirm with the type function. It's integer. What is the data type of this? Boolean, sure. It's a boolean. If I run it, will it work? F to be capital, correct, Abhishek. So if I just run it, it would throw error saying false is not defined. So always make sure T in true and F in F should false should be capital because Python is case sensitive. So if I use F capital, then it becomes Boolean. So even for true, so T should be capital. So with type function, I'm checking the data type of the words which I'm giving inside it. So mm, using function, if I write, what would be the data type of it?
String, right?
String, correct. Correct. If I run it, it's a string. So if I have a name, will this can be a variable name? 678 underscore 088. Will it work? Okay. So we have few naming rules. No special characters, cannot contain spaces, cannot be Python keywords, are case sensitive. So just cannot assign to literal here. Maybe you mean double equal to instead of single equal to. So starting with numbers. So so we have to start with a letter. It would work. So let me add that point. No special characters allowed. Cannot start. So cannot start with numbers. So okay, let me ask you one question. I'm still creating a variable x equal to 10, and then I'm creating a variable y equal to 15, and I'm creating one more variable x equal to 5, and I want to print x. What do you think would be the output? 10 or 5 or error? I just created two variables of same names. 5. Okay, 5. 5 is correct. So when you create two variables of same name, so what happens is, so you're creating x equal to 10. But now just understand that you have stored this variable 10, and then when you're creating x equal to 5, so then you're going to like replace this 10 with 5 here. But technically in the backend work, so if you now check ID of x, it's 116.450. So let me just create it step by step. Don't, it's not required for us, but just that like if I give x equal to 5, so you check the ID is actually different, but it went for the garbage. Like when you do x equal to 10, so some ID was created. You had the number 664 in the end. When you create again same variable x equal to 5, so there's one more variable has created where 5 got stored, but the first one has become a garbage value. So that's the reason if you're creating multiple variables of same name, sometimes if you're working in real time, so if you're getting a lot of garbage values, then you have then you'll get some errors like storage issues where we clear the history again to we write a code to clear all such garbage values which are going in the backend. So usually, like when you're creating it, it's not like updating the same X, but this is going inside the garbage and a new X is created here. Okay, you don't really have to go for the backend things like this, but just know that X equal to 10, you create one more variable, the latest one gets updated. So if yeah. So any questions related to variable? Anything you want me to try? Is it clear with variables and what are the basic data types? Okay, good. So today we'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll continue with a new function, like with print function again, like what we can do with the print function, input function, how to convert a data type to other data types, more about print function. Not only that, we'll start adding more activities. So if you are interested, just go through the like activities which are here, but it's okay. Like you can just practice whatever you have learned today. For someone who are doing Python programming for the first time, I'm asking this question to you. Is it okay for you, or did you find programming with Python difficult? What's your thoughts?
Sorry, say it again. Actually,
I was asking like if for someone who is doing Python for the first time, how did you felt Python in from the past 40 minutes? Is it easy or you felt it's little complicated?
it's easy than any of the other
Other programming languages, right?
programming
Yeah.
language like Java or .NET and those places. We need to
Yes,
understand
that's
lots
exact.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So Python is very beginner friendly programming language. That's the reason, that's the main point it has become very famous with AI is because slowly we have to start learning the concepts of AI. If Python programming itself is complicated and there's a lot of syntax, it becomes overwhelming for us. Since it's very beginner friendly programming language, that's the reason it just got very famous with ML, AI and all. So yeah, it's really easy to catch up. So slowly we'll try adding advanced topics to it. Do practice on the Google Colab. So you have this collab link with you. So do work on it from your end. So I'm sharing now the GenAI tools document. You really don't have to run all of open all of that from your end and try all 100 plus tools, but only few tools, whatever, read the description, whatever tools you find it interesting and would be useful for you, try those tools. So I just listed 100 plus. So don't try opening everything. You'll waste a lot of time. Just read the description. Maybe 4 or 5 tools which you find interesting. Only those tools try it. But just keep this link with you so that in future maybe any tools you find interesting, you can get it from here. So if you have any questions, you can stay back. If not, see you tomorrow with more of Python again in the tomorrow's lesson. And yeah, and any feedback for me, like you want me to slow down or anything, I'm open for it. You can put it in the chat or you can tell me directly. Okay, I'm assuming all. So then meet you tomorrow. Do practice. Good night. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye bye.